All right. What is the definition of an interest group? Anybody? Anybody? Sydney? Targeted party. Okay, yeah, something similar to that. All right, so an interest group is a group that shares the same view and uses their views to convert you So it's a group that shares the same view and then uses their view to convert you to the same opinion. All right, so an example of an interest group is what? What's an example of an interest group that you can think of?
Nike.
Okay, Nike's not an interest group. Talking about political interest groups. Nike's a company. All right, what's an example of an interest group? Planned Parenthood. Anybody heard of Planned Parenthood? Planned Parenthood is an example of an interest group. All right? The AEA, the Alabama Education Association, all right, which is what a lot of teachers join. All right, that's an interest group. All right, right now, what's going on right now? What's a big topic that's happening in the United States that we have a lot of interest groups that are dealing things with? All right, so what do we call that? What is that big thing called? Immigration ban. All right, so yes, there's a special interest group, a national special interest group that supports and deals with a lot of things that go on in the Islamic community. All right, the Muslim, at their mosque, etc. All right, there's a lot of special interest groups up there that deal with helping people to understand why, Hispanics are coming into the country. All right, there's interest groups of all kinds. All right, and that's what they do. All right, what about Pigeonhole? What do you think Pigeonhole is? Okay, not really that. All right, kind of. All right, it has to do with a bill. All right, Pigeonhole deals with something that you can do to a bill. All right, so first of all, it's a political term that means not to let a bill pass. All right, so what this does is this makes the bill die. All right, so this is an action that you're doing here. All right, so if there was a bill that we did not want to be passed, all right, we would pigeonhole it. All right, so that is a political term that means not to let the bill pass. All right, so you physically make the bill die. You pigeonhole it, you put it in a stack, and you forget about it. All right, doesn't make it out of committee. Never makes it to the floor, never gets debated on, never gets voted on. It just gets put in a pile, and it's a pigeonhole. All right, what about a filibuster? We should all know what a filibuster is. Yeah. All right, so it is a parliamentary procedure excuse me. So you debate happens for a long time. All right, so it's a parliamentary procedure. All right, it's a debate that happens for a long time, and it's to stall a vote. All right. So if you filibuster, you're trying to stall the vote. Okay? All right. Cloture. What does cloture mean? Anybody? Any ideas? All right. A cloture is something that is similar to a filibuster, all right? But a cloture, what you can do with a cloture is it is going to be a motion or process in hold on. All right, so it is a motion or process in parliamentary procedure aimed at bringing a debate to a quick end. All right, so in the House, it is possible to cloture something. All right, if someone is debating it, you can motion for a cloture. All right, if they motion for a cloture, someone does not have the right to filibuster once that motion's been seconded. All right, so if you think someone's going to cloture it, you might want to filibuster or begin your filibuster before someone calls for a cloture. All right, pocket veto. What do you think pocket veto means? What do you think happens when you pocket veto something? Anybody? You save it what? All right, so yeah, it's similar to that. All right, so first it's an indirect veto. All right, but besides that, it's also called a recess bill. All right, and what happens here is the president gets to wait 10 days. All right, so if you wait 10 days and correct, this is only something the president can do. So if the president waits 10 days and does not sign, all right, and all right, so a pocket veto is this. It's an indirect veto by the president, okay? So it's what we consider a recess bill, all right? And what this means is that the president can wait 10 days, and he does not have to sign it, all right? If he waits the 10 days and does not sign it, and Congress is not in session, then the bill dies automatically. It's done. And then you have to wait until a brand new congressional session. So once they come back from recess, new session, and the bill has to start all over again in the process. All right, so this is a way for the president to not veto it, but also not allow for Congress to override the veto. All right, so if a president pocket vetoes a bill, then there's no overriding it, there's no nothing. It's dead, and you have to start back over with the process the next session, meaning it has to be reintroduced in the House that it comes from and goes back through the process again. All right, so if the president pocket vetoes it, it's done for. All right, and so if, for instance, let's say that today's Monday, all right, and Congress is going to end their last session on Friday, all right? Well, that means that if they pass a bill on Wednesday or Thursday, and I'm the president, and I don't want to sign that bill, then I can just put it figuratively in my pocket, all right? Friday comes, Friday goes, they're out of session, wait a little bit longer, Oh, session's still out. All right, 10 days marks up, the bill's dead. All right, and then we have to wait until the new session starts again for that bill to start over. All right, the last one is a rider. What do you think a rider is? Think about a rider. We've kind of heard this word already. Remember when we watched that West Wing episode? They talked about something in there that's similar to a rider. Starts with a C. It's a tree. Yeah, Christmas tree. All right, y'all remember what they said about the Christmas tree? It's like something you add on there. Yeah. All right, so a rider is similar to that. All right, a rider is going to be an additional provision. All right, so it's an additional provision that rides onto and often unrelated law to benefit their own agendas. All right, so a rider is just that. It's an additional provision that rides onto an often unrelated law to benefit their own agendas, okay? So an example of a rider is a couple of years ago, back in 2015, it's really not that long ago, there was a massive bill that was to deal with spending in the United States, all right? And it was to keep the federal government running. Well, inside that bill was like trillions of dollars worth, actually it's almost like let's see here, 6.8 or $6.9 billion worth of extra stuff that was just added in there. And it was things that like money to go to farming communities in North Dakota, or regulations for truckers that we spent $1 million on, or money to go to a state, or things like this. There's just extra bills that were thrown in there that were riders. All right. Now, during the recession, so the recession that we've just come out of, all right, in that early part of the recession, Congress actually made it on themselves a law that said they weren't going to earmark anything. All right, earmarks are riders, Christmas trees, etc. They weren't going to put anything on a bill that didn't need to be there. All right, because we were in a recession, money was tight already, and they didn't want to risk the chance of public outlash, by the people. All right, so right now, before Congress, a woman from Utah has proposed a bill that would limit Congress to only having one subject per bill. All right, so if the subject line was more than two, like it was gun laws and gun bans, that wouldn't be allowed. It'd have to be just gun laws, or just gun bans, or just immigration. Like it couldn't be multiple bills. It'd have to be one bill. All right, now whether or not this will get passed, we don't know. But this is one way of dealing with all this rider and cutting down on that. We shall see. All right, are there any questions on the vocab? Whether that's interest group, pigeonhole, filibuster, cloture, pocket veto, or rider? Anybody have questions on it? Nope? We're good? All right.